Now, this is an important video, and I would recommend listening to the end for antidotes and suggestions of what to do. If you have an alcoholic in your family and they are deflective, they're in denial of their problem, and even worse, they're gaslighting it. In other words, they're projecting their problem onto you. I don't have a problem. Everybody else has a problem. I like to drink. I'm not hurting anybody, and the same old verbiage that they use, you're the problem, I don't have a problem. And some people will actually second guess themselves, especially if you're in an environment where the family supports the drinking and they come from that kind of cultural background where drinking is normalized. And why would you not drink? I mean, it's the way we get through our day. It's a reward system. To actually confront that problem is actually weird in their mind. And they don't even have the ability to look and have the awareness to step back for a moment and realize that they're hurting their health, all of their relationships, their productivity, and essentially the length of time that they spend on this planet, because you will shorten your life with that kind of mentality. So what do you do as a family member when you have this impossible, seemingly impossible situation in front of you? And again, I have a complete coaching program that's really designed to help families really overcome these types of objections and to understand and to have the education of what to do and where to go, as well as help the alcoholic with setting up a blueprint for the rest of their life so they can exchange the bad habits for good ones and really get everybody back together, repair relationships, and continue with one's life. And again, link is in the bio. Set up a breakthrough call. It takes about 45 minutes or so, and we do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. The call is free. The course is definitely not, but I'm looking for people who want to change their life and the life of their family. And again, one of the reasons why this type of behavior is so excruciatingly difficult for family is because it's not a rational situation that you're dealing with. You're actually dealing with an unsustainable relationship when someone is in denial and they're gaslighting you. You're watching them drink themselves really to death in a lot of cases, and they're actually happily to go down that road. They might have legal issues, financial issues, health issues, and nothing's going to stop them. This is why that's why it's called alcohol use disorder. It's a mental disorder, and that person needs help. They need professional help. They need counseling. They need recovery. They need to be around other people who are in recovery. They need to use medications like naltrexone and Antabuse, and a whole host of different things, all the tools that are available. The first thing that they have to do, though, is they have to be willing to come to the table and recognize that they have a problem. Until they do that, and if they're unwilling to do that, and if they double down on denial and deflection, and it's everybody else's fault, there comes to a point where you need to back off. And you're not going to help that person by pushing and pushing and pushing. And I'll explain why. Now, the reason that person is pushing back and why they're in denial, because the alcohol has become the solution to their emotional traumas, to their emotional repressed emotions, anxiety, stress, depression. They could have some kind of dual issue, ADHD, PTSD, bipolar, borderline personality disorder, schizophrenia. They could be socially awkward. They could be an introvert. There's a host of things that's a reason why people drink. The alcohol has become their solution to deal with that in their life. To suggest that they stop doing that is an assault on them. That's how they perceive it. They perceive they have this solution, and now you want to take that solution away. That's something that's very, very difficult for the alcoholic to work through, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. And again, as a family member, there may come a point where, I wouldn't say give up on people, but there comes to a point where you need to step back as a family member and maybe really give that person some space, either go limited contact or no contact at all for a period of time. Allow that person to find their rock bottom, allow them to fail in their life, allow them to have the opportunity to realize that maybe they have legal issues, financial issues, and physical issues, and they're tired of living this existence. You might have to give them that opportunity and take away any kind of emotional enabling, financial enabling, and whatever, you have to remove yourself from the situation and allow the alcoholic in your life to fail on their own. And hopefully they will be able to come to that awareness on their own, which is the only way it will really ever work, if it's coming from them. And again, it has to come from them, because you can't want something more for somebody than they want it for themselves. You can't wish somebody into health or away from this disease. They've got to want it, and they have to get to the point where they don't have any other choice, unfortunately. It's a tough dance, and believe me, if you know my history, sometimes rock bottom means they don't make it, and there are some people who will not make it, unfortunately, like my spouse. And it's a very sad event. You can do everything and try to point that person in the right direction, but if the disease is taken over too far and too deep, everybody's not going to make it. And it's important to realize the denial deflection stage is a late stage 3 alcoholic. Okay, they are chemically, emotionally, and physically addicted, and they're in serious trouble. And again, you can find all these stories and anecdotes and things that will resonate about everything we're talking about in Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. Again, you can find it in my link tree. If you want to go international, there's also an international link. It's also on Amazon ebook, and Barnes & Noble, Apple, and Amazon as well. And again, thanks so much for listening.